Globe, do you have a message for your fans right now, Mr. Depp?
I'm scared to death. I'm frightened, and I don't know what to do.
When it comes to Hollywood, there are certain things that can be glossed over or hidden by major studios in order to go and ensure that someone is allowed to keep making content for them. Sadly, we have seen this many times over the years, including in the current Hollywood. However, at times there have been celebrities who have gone on to do such things that cannot be ignored, and thus they need to be forced out. And while a few, there are some who can honestly say that Hollywood won't touch them, allow us to show you 5 celebs who have been banned by Hollywood. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 5. Kirk Cameron. In today's society, there are those who feel that their opinions are so right that they need to share them with others no matter what is happening. This is sadly something you can see every day in our world, and for one, Kirk Cameron, it cost him his career. At one point in time, Kirk Cameron was one of the biggest but also young stars in Hollywood, especially after his performance on Growing Pains, which happens to be a beloved sitcom. But when he came to find religion, he not only took to it, he proclaimed from the mountaintops, almost literally. He is a fundamentalist Christian, which means that he believes in the principles of Christianity to a rather extreme level, such as outright denying that evolution is a thing and then blasting people for supporting LGBTQ rights. He has made numerous social media rants that have caused serious stirs in the community, and he doesn't even try to apologize for them. He was so radical that Hollywood wouldn't work with him anymore. In response, he tried to make his own movies with his own fan base that supported him and his beliefs. The 2 movies were not only box office failures in every sense of the word, but also he got awards for the films in the form of golden raspberries. That means his movies sucked, in case you didn't know. Number 4. Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is a guy who knows he will never be the top guy, and yet works hard nonetheless to be funny and do the kind of comedy movies that some people would enjoy. Or so he hoped. One of the biggest reasons that Vince Vaughn isn't welcome in Hollywood anymore is that while he is funny, it honestly varies depending on the film. Sure, Dodgeball and Wedding Crashers were great, but a bunch of other movies that he did were not only flops, they revealed that he wasn't exactly the funniest guy on the planet. He has a style that he prefers to play in terms of characters, and that makes him very rigid in terms of the roles that he can play. Add to that, Vince has thrown out some shade at Hollywood over the years, and his age isn't helping either. So it might be more of a quiet ban, but hey, it's still a ban. Number 3. Roseanne Barr. You had to know that she was going to be on the list. She is honestly one of the reasons that lists like this get talked about, as she went from top cat to down in the dumps in the literal course of one tweet. The show Roseanne was much more than just another sitcom. It dared to be different from all other sitcoms that have been going on for the last couple of decades. Roseanne profoundly showed off just how a real working class family was. They all had true flaws, troubles with their jobs, bitter attitudes, and more. The show was a hit in every sense of the word, and it didn't truly bomb until its last season when it tried to be refreshing, when the family struck it rich and people didn't want to watch it anymore. Then the reboot phase of Hollywood came, and Roseanne was brought back to life. They basically erased the previous last season of the show, and the series finale where John Goodman's character was confirmed to be dead, and started back at what made everything fun. It was a hit, a major hit even, as people were shocked that it got the ratings it did. But despite that success, Roseanne couldn't help but be Roseanne. She went on to Twitter and posted a very racist remark of a US Senate advisor who was both Iranian and African. Needless to say, it did not go over well. Not on the internet, not in the media, and not with some of her co-stars, some of whom quit after the remark was made. ABC found themselves in a difficult situation, as the show was already a hit and they had renewed it for another season. Yet if they didn't do something, they would likely be seen as protecting Roseanne and her remarks. In the end, they did the right thing, canceling the show, firing Barr, and then rebooting the show yet again in the form of the Connors, and having her character die so that it was impossible for her to be written back in. Despite an apology from Barr, it didn't do anything to help her. She also was very angry that none of her co-stars stood up for her. The Connors had continued to be a big hit for ABC, and Barr has only rarely been heard of. Given how radioactive she is, it'd take something truly special for her to go and make a comeback. We're just not seeing it happening. Number 2. Monique. Many of the cases on this list should be construed as not really banned, but in the case of Monique, there is literally no doubt that she has been banned from Hollywood. Monique started out as a comedian with the Queens of Comedy, and then went on to do certain TV shows and hosting duties, including on the UPN network and The Parkers. She slowly but surely built up her credit in Hollywood and eventually made it to the big time in the movie Precious, where she not only got universal praise for her role in the film, but she also got an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. A pretty impressive thing to have happen. Which, of course, then begs the question, if she did the work and got the fame and got the awards, how did she get banned from Hollywood? Well, this is one of those cases where not playing the game apparently hurt her. She herself was one who loved her family, and after winning the Best Supporting Actress award, she was expected to go to certain parties and parade around her award, but she didn't want to do that. She felt it was classless and that she would rather be with her family instead of doing that. This, in turn, apparently rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and as such, the director of Precious straight up told her that she was being blackballed in the industry, meaning that there was a directive to not hire her at all. She has been very public about this, and although she's had some small things happen for her in terms of roles, she is nowhere near where she was when she won that Oscar, and that is really sad. It shouldn't be a crime to want to spend time with your family rather than making movies and TV shows. It's a choice, and one that should be allowed to be made. But sadly, this is the danger of Hollywood, because not only do they go and protect the people who don't deserve it, they have a set of ideals and beliefs that you must follow or else pay the price. And that is what happened to Monique, sadly. Number 1. Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey, up until his fall, was one of the biggest actors in Hollywood, full stop. His role in House of Cards was powerful, got him nominated for awards, and helped put Netflix on the map. As his prominence once again rose via that show, he was cast into major movies and other roles, even having his likeness transferred into video games via the title Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and he was key to their marketing strategy. Then, the reveals came along and Spacey was done in every way imaginable. Allegations came out against Spacey that he mistreated many young men on various sets that he worked on. While one allegation can be ignored or brushed off by those in power, which we definitely have seen happen before, the number of people who came forward was staggering, and the more that came out, the more that Spacey was basically doomed. Hollywood put a stop to him cold turkey. Spacey was written off House of Cards, which soon ended after he left. Furthermore, he was recast in all the movies he was in, and more, including All the Money in the World, which had completely filmed his role before this, and he was full-on replaced by Christopher Waltz, who was nominated for an award for that role, ironically enough. Like many who deny wrongdoing, Kevin Spacey tried to keep going, even putting on his own movies to release at the box office, only for them to bomb horribly. He's trying to keep himself relevant, but fails at every turn, and this likely isn't going to change anytime soon. So what do you think? What do you think of these 5 celebrities who screwed up so badly that they're essentially out of Hollywood forever? Were you surprised by some of the names on this list? Which ones do you remember watching as they did their fall from grace? Do you think that any other celebrities deserve to be on the list or might be on this list soon? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.